Good afternoon, Mrs. Njideka.
Good afternoon.
Do let us know the firm you represent, what you do.
Sure. Thank you, Dolapo, for the introduction. My name is Njideka Harry, and I am the President and Chief Executive at Youth for Technology Foundation, YTF. YTF is an international non-profit organization. Our mission is simple, but it's powerful, and our mission is really to create enriched communities where the appropriate use of technology affords opportunities for youth and women living in developing nations. Our work involves the use of appropriate technology at the intersection of education and entrepreneurship.
Why is the focus on technology and entrepreneurship?
We believe that the power that technology has to influence sectors such as entrepreneurship are myriad. For instance, looking at an entrepreneur and how they grow their business and what tools they're using, technology has a huge part to play. And when we talk about technology in that sense, we're really looking at what is appropriate for the client. So if it's women entrepreneurs we're working with, we've introduced mobile services, mobile banking services to develop women as banking agents. We've also introduced just the basic use of mobile value-added services on their mobile device to help them to engage with their clients a lot better and to call their customers and their vendors, to transfer money between accounts via online banking. The power that the mobile technology has in that respect is huge.
Also, why focusing on female business owners from the Niger Delta?
So actually we work across Nigeria.
Okay.
So our offices are based in Imo State. We've worked in Nigeria for 15 years, since 2000. And when we started working in Nigeria, our programs were developed more around youth development. But very quickly, the young people we were working with told us that the services we were providing to them, their mothers, who for the most part were the backbone of their families, could use a lot of the training, whether it was as basic as digital literacy training or entrepreneurship and life skills. Our young people actually told us, my mother needs this training. We found, of course, that women are resilient. They're economic pillars of their families, investing as much as 90% of their household income back into developing their families, back into their children's education, their children's health, and in creating self-sustainable communities. So really, investing in women for us was not a second or afterthought. It was really the smart thing to do, the economic thing to do, really, in order to build these communities that we work in.
And when did YTF begin?
YTF began as a non-profit organization in 2000.
In 2000?
Yes.
What are some of the successes of YTF, if any?
Sure. I mean, we've learned a lot over the last 15 years. We've grown, of course, and we've developed partnerships, multi-stakeholder partnerships across the board. As an organization, we work in Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, as well as Colombia. Our impact to date, because we take monitoring and evaluation very seriously, our impact broadly is we've reached about 1.67 million youth and women. We work across 3,300 different communities, and we have inspired the creation of over 10,900 businesses, 3,000 of which are youth-led.
You mentioned the countries you have offices in. Why Latin America? Why Colombia?
So we found in our work, we actually just started working in Colombia about 2 years ago.
That's
2013 is when we started working in Colombia. And the way we expand is through a well thought out social franchise model. Individuals and or community-based organizations reach out to us asking us to replicate our vision in their communities. And what we found is Colombia has very similar situations amongst its youth population, especially like a country like Nigeria and Kenya. Unemployment rates are high. Young people are graduating from schools and not going into the universities or not being able to have the skill set to take on vocational careers. And so looking at the social demographics of those countries, they're very similar. And so we found it was a good way to expand and deepen our work there as well.
Another question, how has YTF Youth for Technology Foundation, how has it been able to infuse financial inclusion into the projects you do?
Sure. So we work. We provide financial literacy and business skills to women entrepreneurs in Nigeria. And we've done so since 2006 through our structured programs for entrepreneurship for women. We work across Nigeria in partnerships with multi-stakeholders like MasterCard. And what we do is we provide these women with a series of types of classes. So the first is classroom training, which is in the form of workshops where we cover everything from how do you register your business all the way to how do you hire employees in the most efficient way possible, how do you expand to other locations, and then also how do you manage your money. You know, we find that a lot of the women entrepreneurs we work with have a problem with keeping assets separate, you know, so they merge all their assets, business and personal. And so we've done a lot of work in that space, really teaching them the importance of keeping these assets separate. We work with women entrepreneurs in Nigeria primarily from 4 industries: retail and wholesale, like manufacturing, hospitality, as well as social services. And so we work with, you know, ministries of women affairs. We work with other community-based organizations. We work with opinion leaders and traditional rulers to recruit women from communities across Nigeria.
And have you had successes of people who came to YTF financially stranded and they are now financially, should I use the word buoyant, or financially successful?
I think people's success, a lot of it is attributed to education. And so we take financial education very, very seriously. And so we've had young people who have come in, or even women who have come in and actually, you know, have been, you know, they've grown their business in the way they know how, but they haven't been able to access capital because of their bookkeeping skills and their money management skills. So being able to really teach them how to manage their assets properly, how to maybe refrain from extending credit to certain customers or set various guidelines for how credit is extended is extremely important. And so we found that a lot of our women entrepreneurs that we have worked with are more confident in their ability to access capital after they've gone through our training.
What are some of the stories? There's a video that went viral online about someone from the eastern part of Nigeria. Can you elaborate on that video?
Sure. Mrs. Afoma is one of our women entrepreneurs. She owns a beauty salon in Owerri. She moved to Owerri probably about 11 years ago and became involved in our programs about 3 years ago at Youth for Technology. And since then, she has grown her business exponentially. She's more confident in her ability to hire and retain high-quality employees, particularly female employees. When we first met Mrs. Afoma, her business was all cash-based. So she would extend credit to particular customers, she would receive cash, she would give out cash. But since she has participated in our training, she has actually gotten a better idea of what it means to go cashless. And for her, being a woman in this type of industry, of course, security was a key risk for her. And so the ability to be able to process payments and pay her vendors and suppliers using her MasterCard Visa or her MasterCard was a lot better for her.
Well, what other projects are in the pipeline?
Well, again, our work involves, you know, in the education and entrepreneurship segment. So we do a lot also with schools as well, where we introduce technology as well as, of course, basic literacy and life skills training in schools as well. You know, looking at kind of the overall financial space in Nigeria, we know that, you know, today in Nigeria, about 54% of women are financially excluded. About 74% of those women are under the age of 45. Another 34% of those women have never received any formal education, and 80% of them still live in rural areas. A large proportion of the women entrepreneurs we work with fit these statistics that have been shown. A lot of them don't have confidence in the banking system. either because one of proximity, to a banking location. Two, because they're somewhat in the informal industry. Maybe before they come to YTF, their businesses are not officially registered because they are a little skeptical of the tax implications. So they are operating kind of within that. They're business owners, but operating still within the informal economy. And then thirdly, in addition to proximity, operating in the informal economy is also the issue of trust, right? And so a lot of these women use kind of local savings mechanisms like Isuzu instead of going to the bank. And so a lot of our work involves education from that perspective. Letting them understand that they can trust the commercial banking system and they can build relationships and that they can build their business side by side to be able to access capital eventually. So we've seen a tremendous amount of progress. We know that the Nigerian financial inclusion strategy that was outlined a couple of years ago indicated that the goal by 2020 is to reduce financial exclusion in Nigeria from about 50 or 46% to about 20%. Which is achievable, but we can't do it alone. We need the support and the partnership from wonderful companies like MasterCard in the private sector who have supported our work in helping us to reach these goals of educating these women entrepreneurs and bringing them up to speed. We also need the government and the public sector as a partner as well. So no organization and no entity can do this alone.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You have